Opening in 1971, Six Flags Magic Mountain was originally just a small local family destination that people would visit for a day or so. However, after over 50 years of rapid advancement and crazy roller coaster additions, this is now one of the most famous and sought-after amusement parks in the entire world, boasting the largest roller coaster collection of any theme park on the planet, featuring 20 roller coasters. Magic Mountain's collection is super strong, featuring obviously a whole lot of quantity, but also backing that up with a whole lot of quality roller coaster additions that the park features. Anyways, let's dive into the list, ranking the top 10 roller coasters at Six Flags Magic Mountain in 100% my opinion and my opinion only. Starting off our list at number 10, we have the Revolution. Now this might just be the most historically significant roller coaster in the world, being one of the first to ever feature a vertical loop. History aside, the coaster is still super fun, featuring a smooth ride experience that goes around the mountains and through an awesome tunnel featuring a couple of fun drops at the beginning, and this is definitely a roller coaster I wouldn't want to miss if I visited Magic Mountain again. Moving on to number 9, we have the Riddlers Revenge. Now this 1998 enormous stand-up coaster certainly is polarizing. I know a lot of people who love this coaster and others who absolutely despise it and will never ride it again. Me personally, I'm somewhere in the middle. I thought its layout was super well designed and it's crazy intense. However, it definitely can be a little much stress on your legs and your crotch if you're a dude. But apart from that, this coaster's name and theme is pretty solid for a Six Flags ride, and overall I had fun on the Riddler's Revenge. Heading up the list to number 8, we have Viper. This 1990 aerodynamics looper is another one of Magic Mountain's super polarizing coasters, with a whole group of people loving it and a whole nother group of people hating it. I'm definitely more on the side of the people who loved it. I actually liked this coaster enough I came back around for a second ride immediately after my first, and I thought this coaster was just pure fun. It's super classic, it feels janky, smooth in no way, but still it's super fun, a long experience that looks enormous in the park skyline, and I really hope they don't remove it even though those rumors are currently swirling around. Moving up the list to number 7, we have Batman the Ride. Now, if you know anything about Six Flags, you'll know that there are about a dozen clones of this coaster scattered around the chain. However, in my eyes, the one at Magic Mountain is the best. It ran super fast and smooth, crazy intense, and was a really solid break from the rest of the coasters at Magic Mountain where you sit on top of the track. Batman was definitely a surprise to me, and I would not mind getting back on it my next visit to the park. Heading up to number 6, we have West Coast Racers. In my eyes, the best new roller coaster addition that's been added to Magic Mountain in a really long time. West Coast Racers was absolutely necessary for the park, blending thrill and family, featuring a couple launches and a few extreme elements, and a couple of inversions without being too crazy intense. Even though it's not ranked the highest on this list, I cannot recommend West Coast Racers enough. I absolutely love this thing. Starting off our top 5, we have Goliath, the final one of Magic Mountain's super polarizing roller coasters. I went into this ride with really low expectations. I had heard everything bad about it. The drop sucks, the ride's forceless, there's no airtime, yada yada. That couldn't have been more true. I don't know if it was just the day I rode it, but Goliath made me gray out numerous times throughout the layout. There were a few really solid airtime pops, and overall I had a blast on this coaster. Goliath isn't my favorite hypercoaster, but it's definitely up there. This thing is criminally underrated. Moving on to number 4, we have Full Throttle, yet another roller coaster I'm higher on than most, except this time I really don't have an explanation behind it. I just find Full Throttle to be really fun. Obviously, everybody knows it for its enormous vertical loop at the beginning of the ride. However, the rest of the layout behind that is super interesting as well, featuring a couple of inversions, a few launches, and even diving underground for a brief moment before the end. I know this coaster gets a lot of hate. I don't really understand it. I just think it's a super pleasant roller coaster that's always fun to get on whenever you visit Magic Mountain. Starting off our top 3, we have Tatsu, the enormous flying coaster that roars over the entirety of the park. And to be honest, I do not like flying coasters. They really aren't my thing. I don't know why, I've just really never enjoyed them. However, that changed after I rode Tatsu. This coaster is insane. It feels like you're flying over the park almost 200 feet in the air, because you practically are, and it has a few moments that are so intense it feels like your entire body is going to crush into itself. I can't recommend this coaster enough, because even though I don't like flying coasters, this completely changed my outlook on them, and Tatsu is one of my favorite roller coasters in the world. Coming in at number 2, we have X2. There really isn't anything else in the world I can compare this roller coaster to if you haven't ridden it. This ride experience is insanity, it's ludicrous. I'm really not trying to be head over heels for X2, but it's kinda hard not to be. I really don't think this coaster does anything explicitly wrong. The ride experience is almost just too much. The coaster is so crazy, however the only reason it doesn't come in at the #1 spot is I tend to prefer a more diverse roller coaster that focuses on numerous forces instead of just ripping your face off like X2, but that's definitely not a knock on this coaster. I love X2. And finally, coming in at the #1 spot, we have Twisted Colossus. I'm sure that's no surprise to anybody, as this coaster is pretty phenomenal. I got 5 laps on this coaster the day that I went to Magic Mountain, and I could have spent the entire rest of the day riding this coaster. Its dueling aspect is amazing, especially if you get a perfect race, and the airtime, inversions, and elements this coaster has to offer are short to almost nothing. Twisted Colossus is the headliner of Six Flags Magic Mountain, and I know a lot of you guys will agree with that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video of me ranking the top 10 roller coasters at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my takes, tell me in the comments down below, and if you did enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like rating down below, and subscribe for more videos coming just like this every single week on Hangtime Thrills. I'll catch you guys next time.